He has taken the real estate industry by storm and has created quite a buzz while doing it. He is known as the homeboy. Genny said they did 294 sides roughly last year, but by the way, he did 94 of those himself while leading the team to 294 transactions. So let's give a big Birmingham welcome to Ashton.
This was now about, July, August, I would say, of 2005 after I graduated. 2005, remember these days? These were the glory days. I mean, this was, if you had a pulse and you could fog a mirror, you sold a house, you could also get a loan. Who cared that you had to pay a mortgage? Why pay the mortgage? The bank, they're just going to give you some money. So 2005, it was amazing. And I'm watching this go on, and follow me here. This is a little bit humorous and a little bit outlandish, but this agent that was walking in the office, he walks in and he says something along the lines of, "Oh my gosh, the world is raining buyers. I am so busy, there's so many buyers, I need help. Come get a bucket and help me catch these buyers that are falling out of the sky." He didn't say that, but that's what I heard. And so I start doing some math, and I'm like, okay, let me get this straight. I watch what you do, and I'm the sign guy, and I'm a dang good sign guy, sold guy, sign guy, but I'm watching what you do, and you kind of twiddle your thumbs. Every half hour or so, I hear, "You got mail," in your office. A guy gets in your car, you show him 5 homes, a bank says they'll give him 300 grand, he finds a house priced at 300, he offers 295, slam bam, we're closed in 30 days, and you get X amount % of 300,000. Is this how this deal works? And he was like, yeah, that's how this deal works. So I was like, I'm in. I'm graduating from the Sold Rider Sign Division. It's been a great time as my vice presidency of this division, but it's time for me to move on. So I go tell my grandparents, I was like, hey, I think I kind of want to give this thing a shot. And they're like, great, we'd love to have you, So what do I do? Well, you got to get on, you got to take some tests. Okay, so I Google that, find the test. Somehow I took 300 hours in like 48 hours. I don't know how that works. So I do that, and I got to sign up for the state exam. And they don't offer those in my town, Wichita Falls. We're a little small. So I drive to Dallas, sign up for this test, and there's like 50 state questions, 50 national questions, I think, something like that. I get to the last question, I hit submit, and it says, "Are you sure you want to press enter for your test to be over?" And I was like, yes, I answered the question. So I hit submit, and it's like, "Are you really sure you want to hit submit? The test allows 3 hours and you've only used 40 minutes. I was like, I'm done here, please submit. So I'm kind of like, well, this is scary. So I'm like standing back from it a little bit like, submit. It's like, pass. So here we go. This guy's got a real estate license. And so I was like, okay, now what do I do? So I come back and they said, well, let's get you a computer, let's give you a little office, cute little brass nameplate, probably need to buy you a little suit, Ashton, you kind of look funny in those college hippie clothes you're wearing around here. You need to get that, and we need to get some business cards. I wish I could have brought my business. My first business card is hilarious. I don't know who that guy is, but I guess that was me at one time. They're really funny, you should see them. Anyway, so I get all that going, and day one I show up to the office. My grandparents have owned this real estate company for 30 years. They're the top ranking agents. They've consistently done 40 million plus for the last 15 years. They owned a RE/MAX franchise at one time. They went independent. It was the Ann and Denny Bishop Realtor Group. Long name, but that was the place that I was working. So I showed up, and it was day one. The grandson has arrived with his license. And I'm sitting in there, and I do the usual, watch a few YouTube videos, make a Twitter post or two. I think we had Twitter back then. Google a few of my favorite bands that I was listening to, had to figure out where they were touring and when I could go see them. Funny, it quickly became 5 o'clock, and that day was over. Nothing really happened. Next day, same thing. Checked some emails, texted with some friends, went to lunch with a buddy, hung out, didn't really do much. And this starts continuing. Show a few homes here and there. I get a lead given to me here and there, but there's no real anything, no systematic process of what's going on. And so I sit there month one. I sit there month 2, 90 days, 120 days, 150 days, 180 days, and this boy who thought he had the world on a string has empty pockets. And I'm sitting there thinking, this deal is not working like I thought it was going to. I mean, the world was raining buyers 6 months ago. Where did they go? I was not finding them. And so the details of this day and the 6 month are really not necessary. Just know for a young boy, it was rough. It was one of those days where too many deals had gone bad. Life wasn't working. I was starting to be a success, but I had no idea what it meant to be successful. I'm still living at home, which is awkward. And that's okay to laugh at that. And excuse me. I'm at home, and it's late. It's probably midnight. 6 months into this deal, nothing is sold. And I'm sitting on the foot of my high school bed. That's awkward, too. And I'm sitting there, starving, searching to be a success. Things that I'd done in life up to this point had come naturally for me, but this was really, really rough. And so I'm a musician as well. And so I reach over and I pick up my guitar and I find myself lost in this kind of slow 3-chord progression. I may lose you here, but it was in the key of C. And it was slow, but as the C went to the F and then it moved to the G, it sunnied up a little bit. Follow me here? So that the music that I start playing, it felt a little like life. Today was rough, but I could dream a better day, or so I thought. And only does this happen very, very rarely, but if you're any type of writer or musician or artist, you know that it's very hard to spark words or spark inspiration or innovation. Life has to kind of hit you with something, and life had hit me with a left cross of no money for 6 months. And so I'm sitting there, and out of nowhere, these words fall out of my mouth. In 2 minutes, verse 1, I start singing, and I'm not going to sing these, that would be very awkward. Verse 1 over these chords. So go and get the pen and the paper and take some notes. Is it real how I feel? Tomorrow the truth will be told. Because I've been here one too many times when it feels like my life is in rewind. Won't you let the music play? Verse 2. It's, oh my gosh, I'm forgetting it. Verse 2. Yeah. So a baby cries and the grandpa dies, but the world won't lose its spin. And good guys try to be nice, but it feels like bad guys tend to win. And you've been there one too many times when it feels like your life is in rewind. Just pray and won't you let the music play. Verse 3. And so we go to the end of our days, but our roads, they lead so slow to this destination insane. And we've been there one too many times when it feels like our lives are in rewind. Just pray and won't you let the music play. In less than 3 minutes, these chords that I was strumming on the foot of my high school bed birthed a whole new vision of life for me. Life in that moment became about an anthem. You see, my life up to this point, in the last 6 months of graduating college, had just been a bunch of noise. There was no tempo. There was no rhythm. There was no melody. There was no harmony to this life I was leading, both personally and professionally. I just existed. I was just noise. But in this song of Let the Music Play, I found that I wanted my anthem in life to be about music. I wanted music coming forth. I wanted daily forward progression coming forth. And I was done with moving backwards and being in rewind. It was a prayer, if you will. God, please allow the music to play. At the same time, it was also a line drawn in the sand. A life of rewind and a life of noise and moving backwards was no longer an option. That night, a boy went to bed. And that following morning, a young man woke up.